What? Not yet, I was gonna put that in after all this stuff. What do you guys rather want to shoot?
There's the powders.
Like a
Four.
pinch of salt?
Cup.
Pinch?
Sugar.
Or is it salt? What?
Probably white.
It's a flavor enhancer. Really? Yeah.
Okay. I think we're gonna do peanut butter chips for sure.
Thanks,
How much are we putting in of this?
Use like.
Let's use a spoon. We're gonna call it a spoonful.
Alright, so you wanna use that
That's,
butter?
that's a tablespoon. Since one
Which is the
tablespoon.
better
One
one?
tablespoon. There we go. You, what do you mean?
No, not that word, thinking about which one to use.
Butter, they want butter. Oh, we're using a pinch of salt.
Which one's better?
This is more like margarine butter and that's softened butter.
We use the softened butter. It just makes it.
Roll it on the edge.
This is gonna be so good.
It's a lot of flour.
It is a lot of flour. Way too much. Maybe another egg. I have no idea. I don't.
I don't know, I think it's too small for one
I
egg.
think we need a little more.
I think we just gotta keep it.
We're starting to chop that out, though.
What?
Sugar.
Wait until the very last.
Did we put sugar in it?
We put brown sugar, so we can put regular sugar.
We'll put it down.
Start mixing that up.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Now you want to get another egg?
I'm gonna make it now.
Are you having an egg?
I'm totally so unfocused to go do my presentation now. It's totally smell.
You ready?
Yeah. Another egg in here. This is why you're not supposed to eat raw cookie dough, kids.
Raw
I always
eggs,
do.
raw
What
flour.
base character? I eat raw eggs all the time.
Like in the brownie mix and stuff. Might need a
I
little
like
more
runny
powder
eggs.
now.
Runny eggs are the best.
I've never done
I
that.
hate eggs. I like to eat them, but
Add another teaspoon of this, tablespoon.
no, we need
I'm
flour.
guessing it's the green one.
A little bit
What?
of flour.
Like what?
Spoonful?
Cement,
Looks
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
spoonful. Tablespoon.
Put some
It
vanilla
all
in
could
there.
be really delicious.
Let's wait till this is like
And then
really
it's
well
gonna be like
mixed.
really weird
Which
cookies.
one?
Did we put regular sugar in here too?
Hey, where'd
Yeah.
the vanilla go, I guess?
Oh, it's right here.
Okay, so we added one more egg, and we added one more tablespoon of flour.
That's pretty good. Just a
So
little
you
drop,
got half
little
a
drop,
cup
drop,
plus a
drop, drop.
tablespoon.
Okay.
I'm starting that down.
Two drops.
Vanilla's
Hey,
awesome.
whatever y'all get finish, mix up, just let me know.
Is it still too runny or is that good?
No, it's fine. But we need, you want to put more sugar in?
Vanilla.
Regular sugar or brown sugar? Regular sugar.
That's what's the final one.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the wrong one.
What did y'all use? Have y'all used any chocolate or peanut butter yet?
Not yet, we're
Not
gonna
yet.
do that. That's the next step, is we have the batter, which you put the,
Just do a tablespoon.
yeah, and you put chocolate chips on too.
Yep.
Okay. Serve on the edge. Yeah.
So where?
And can we open the chocolate chips?
Yeah, that's what everything's here to
Okay,
do.
open the chocolate chips.
You think it's a little bit
I already
liquidy,
had
you
it.
want to get a little more solid? You want to add a little bit more flour? Make it a little more doughy, you think that's good?
That's good. That's what you're supposed to cook with. Yep.
These are bad, sir.
I guess get you spin and
I'll
measure
put it on the edges.
spoonfuls or do you
Just
want
do
to do
a-
the cup?
Just do a spoonful. It's like one cookie.
Oh, man. You know what I forgot? An oven mitt, and that thing is hot.
Oh,
Does anyone have an extra t-shirt?
lot
or
of
something?
paper towels.
An extra picture?
Or yeah, like an extra something.
I forgot to put it.
Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah, I think it's good. Let's do like a little bit, like a spoonful. of
It's a
flour.
little runny. I just need like a pinch of powder.
So like half of that. You need it. You will use this.
Just, no, just literally like a pinch, like pick up a pinch.
Pinch. Okay.
You get into
I wrote that down. Half a cup plus a tablespoon plus a pinch.
I literally like don't cook with recipes ever.
We'll put all,
I just like randomly
Yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
shit and it
You
I can
don't.
do that with normal food,
Okay.
with baking, like I make the directions, and like when
No,
I'm
I
also like,
don't.
just put a
But
little bit of
midnight
something, and
cookies.
I'm like, I don't know what
Oh.
a little bit is, like, is that a teaspoon,
I'm
a
guessing that's
tablespoon, a
good.
cup, like, you gotta give me this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna,
I'm running upstairs.
food's delicious.
Sorry.
Maybe you make a whole baker.
No.
There you go.
A
little more.
Okay, we'll take that, I don't want to.
A
We did
little
one more. I think it was hard, but the batter is soft, yeah. I'm trying to make cookies.
So they make these ones. They have like.
But I like running
sprinkled
cookies,
M&M,
like the soft
and
ones.
it's just greasy. It's a greasy.
I really like the banana
Just
foster.
a little bit more.
I might buy
Cookies
it.
that,
Okay,
midnight
put a
cookies
pinch
are the
in.
best.
Do we need anything else?
What's it called, the Slim Shady?
I would forget it.
Lip.
We got butter. Do
It's
we wanna
good.
add
Is it
more?
sweet enough?
Okay. Okay, wait, let's break down the
Are
math.
we almost done or are we still adding stuff?
You do 2 eggs first.
We're already done with what we did.
Oh.
It needs to be sweeter. Get
You
regular
want
sugar.
Not this?
Get
That's why
regular
eggs.
sugar.
Do we need more salt? Because salt actually makes stuff sweeter, like that's what they use in baking.
I
They
can
use
do
more
it.
salt.
Do you like a little bit more?
I kinda want
Even though you never have salt.
Go for it.
It's like, my other friends, we never cook with salt. We're not, like, ever.
Never cook with salt?
Yeah, we had none. If people come over and they ask for salt,
How much sugar do we put in there?
Just like a little bit.
only one.
One spoon
Yeah.
of each. Well, you pure cane sugar this time.
That's good.
It's so sweet.
Then we do half that.
Did I have this?
now it's just sweet.
So just one more thing?
Okay, no one judge me, okay? One taste. Okay,
I like this one.
Alright, are y'all ready?
I think we're ready to try and make a cookie.
I'm trying to dig a cookie.
But you have to get the spoonful that I just brought right
See the
here.
colors are bleeding.
That's
That's
got
why
all
you
the
put
stuff
in
The
there.
preps and.
That's all right.
Yeah,
It'd be
because
like a
it's got
colorful
all the
cookie.
cookie
Like a
dough.
tie-dye cookie.
Tie-dye cookie.
I just have freaking.
Alright, cool. Cookie.
It's really thick.
I picked a bad day to
Just
wear
put a
black
cookie
sugar.
away.
Piece.
Covered in
Cool.
powder.
That's okay.
Here, sure does.
Make one big cookie.
Is this your last class?
Yeah, it's my last of the day.
It says colors for me.
From the M&M's, yeah. Ours is way too runny.
I like
Ours is like.
Oh,
Yeah.
pop this stuff.
it.
We're gonna let it go for about 10 minutes, because that's how long a normal cookie should take to cook. Alright, I'm just gonna kind of clean this up
Ours is
and ask y'all what ingredients you use and how much you do use. So, Bo's group, what did y'all use?
Alright, we use 3 spoonfuls of sugar, a spoon of baking soda, a dash of salt, a dash of vanilla, 2 eggs, and half a cup of flour, and then plus 1 spoon.
Okay, and what did y'all use?
We use half a cup and then a tablespoon of flour, a tablespoon of butter, 2 eggs, a pinch of baking soda, a fourth a teaspoon of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 pinches of
Fourth
salt.
cup of brown sugar.
Right, and then fourth a teaspoon of vanilla.
Okay, so are y'all kind of similar to each other, or what were the main differences?
How many eggs did y'all use?
Which one's it? How much sugar?
Alright, well, if y'all need some real cookies while you're waiting for yours to cook, here's some.
Can I go watch me?
Yes. Then you're welcome to some cookies too.
Yeah.
No.
I use.
Do you know where the bathroom is on this floor?
Yeah.
How much sugar did you use? How much sugar did you use?
I can probably tell you that neither one of you used enough sugar, because recipes call for like 3 cups compared to 1 cup of flour.
Nice, so we used a lot more. flour and sugar. We did a fourth cup of brown sugar and then regular sugar, we did 2 tablespoons.
You don't want to do much, right?
Got this for cookies. I don't know, I'm packing all this up at it.
That looks good.
He's like, I'll take a spoonful of that too.
I like cookies.
So these gonna be really fluffy then, since they're a lot of flour.
Ours is very
Needs to be
runny.
harder. They were too soft. Ours needed more like hard texture.
Apparently, you're supposed to use like 3 times as much sugar. as
We did,
flour.
yeah, a lot of
Oh, fun fact,
Fun fact, cookies call for a lot of sugar.
did you use a lot of baking soda in ours, or was that just,
How much did you use?
we used a spoonful?
No. I mean, I guess it might have been for like a pop quantity.
They use like a dash of
Yeah, we
baking.
use like a pinch of baking.
We use
soda.
like, oh,
This tastes sweet though.
We need to start baking soda for sure.
I'm not going next. This is weird.
Hey, one of these had a little bit
I can.
I know, mine's gonna suck. You can cut, you guys
I
have a
know,
quiz,
confused.
actually. I made a quiz.
You need a
A
quick.
quiz.
Uh-huh.
When you pass the quiz.
You should, on EPDs.
Should we want me to like let the next person go ahead and get started?
What do you think?
I mean, because the end objective is to see if either one of these turned out, and then for them to turn in their recipes at the end of class. And then I would pick a winner out of the 3 for the best recipe.
So let's pretend like,
No.
you got like 3 minutes left before the bell rings. So as a teacher, what would you do in this situation? So let's just,
Okay, so the bell's about to ring, and I know we're kind of running out of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave this oven on, and I will watch it, and I will let you know the results tomorrow. And y'all can go ahead and take cookies on your way out to eat, but make sure you finish them before you go into your next class. And go ahead and turn in your recipes with all the group members' names on it, please. Will that work?
was there?
Are they really cooking?
Yeah. One of them is getting really fat.
Or just black?
Ours is like growing a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. Theirs is darker and like better. Ours is not flat. I thought it'd be like completely flat.
okay, Kelsey, so what did you like about your lesson and what could you have improved?
I think the students had fun with it. It was something different to do in class than they were doing in a normal class, so I liked that. It gave them a lot of opportunities to experiment with stuff. I think it would have been hard to do in a class that was huge because of the materials I needed, but it was good for like a smaller classroom, but maybe a few more groups would have been nice to have different, more variation. I think it did an okay job of like not having too much material on the screen this time and more visuals compared to other lessons that I've done.
Alright, comments?
Yes.
I really liked it, but before the review, maybe you should have like hid the ingredients in the chocolate. 'Cause if you had a room full of kids and they saw chocolate,
Sure.
At least Bo would have, right?
oh,
That would've been fun.
I was already very distracted. So.
I really liked how like your lecture directly affected what we were trying to do. Like, oh my God, she said baking powder was wrong thing. Don't do that. And like, I don't know. I really thought that was helpful. Sometimes a lecture and like the activity don't correlate to each other as well as this one did.
I enjoyed it. It was great. It was
Yeah.
very hands-on experience.
I think it's a great activity, and I think the review and the lecture were really good too.
I improve, I know because Michelle hit me last time about your slideshow is so boring and da, da, da. So I'll try to improve visual and kinesthetic stuff is what I try to do.
No, yeah, so I thought your PowerPoint and your kind of your short lecture was really good. And I think the activity was really good as well. I thought it lent itself well to the inquiry-based instruction. How could you improve the inquiry portion a little bit?
Okay, well, I kind of gave them like a free-for-all, but then I thought about having like pre-portioned stuff, so that way they weren't, like kind of coming up with their own portions at the same time, and just having many different ingredients, so that way they're testing what ingredients work well, but the portion's already there for them.
So, yeah, so I was thinking, because I was listening, that's why I was kind of taking more of a step back and saying like what you all were talking about when you're doing, and you were saying, okay, I'm gonna use the egg because of this and this and this, but maybe having the opportunity for them to write that down.
Okay.
So maybe the ingredient, the amount, and then a good reason why they're going to use that amount or that ingredient.
Yeah.
Is that what,
Like maybe
so I think
like
they talked about that, but then maybe some people wouldn't talk about that, especially if they're in high school, they're just like, just start adding the stuff in without
Like a
really thinking about
prepared
why.
worksheet with like all the ingredients on it, like if you used it, how much did you use and why you used it, kind of like so they already have a structured thing around it.
Yeah, I think so. And then, because I know you talked about that afterwards, but maybe that would add a little bit more to the discussion, especially once your cookies are baking. Because I think, like once you started it, people were kind of washing their hands and they kind of had a little bit of discussion, and then we're kind of just kind of waiting around. So by really capitalizing on the, okay, what ingredients you use in your cookie and why did you use those ingredients, I think that would have capitalized a little bit more on the inquiry thing. And then also kind of the summary. So, it happens sometimes when we run out of time, but maybe just have a little bit more of a quick summary of, okay, what did we learn today? Just like 2 or 3 things. But I thought it was really creative and I thought it was really good overall.
Sorry, I was successful.
Yep.
And then I'll have to figure out how to get all this mess back in my file later.
I have to have another cookie as well.
There's plenty in there.
You're not doing an inquiry more than I am, so you're making up your, and I have to go look through, so it's all you.
I'm getting the double.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Do you need help carrying this to your car, Kelsey?
probably, because I'm gonna have to, I didn't really put the oven in there, because I'm gonna have to like pile all the ingredients up in the box.
I can help you, I'm here late, so.
You know what would be cool too, Carl, what you can do if you actually have that in the classroom. If you had a few toaster ovens, which I'm sure like a food science lab place would, you could do this activity, they could do that, and then they could test their cookies. They go, okay, this tastes like we didn't put enough sugar into it.
Yeah.
They have to do it again. Then they have to really use their knowledge and abilities until they have to where they're perfect.
Because cookies don't take that long to cook, like 8 minutes maybe, so.
Yep.
Especially.
Or maybe do like the solar energy thing where they can make a solar oven and cook the cookies that they make.
How do I do it to disconnect from the projector?
What are you gonna do?
Like just shut this down for a little bit, because I don't want people seeing my emails.
Oh,
Oh,
they won't.
They don't
You do
pop
it.
up on the screen.
Yep.
Where?
On the remote, I think.
Oh.
The fridge was in read.
So you're like, this right here? There's something on there.
Okay.
You have
Good.
to drag it over to this side, and then you can see it.
Oh, okay, yeah, because, okay, it's another little dot everywhere.
Yeah, I was just doing something about that, like, whatever it is.
Maybe it's the whole sugar flour issue.
I think I just ate the left half of it with next. Yeah, bye.
got it.
Okay, are you ready then?
Yeah, it's just downloading.
Did those cookies turn out?
Oh my god.
You don't have to eat your cookies.
Do you have like a spatula?
There's a spoon down here. It's just one spoon. It's probably in that bowl.
Oh, is it in the big bowl?
It's the first thing I eat all day too.
Me too.
Healthy choice.
I think I ate like about 3 pieces too. Because I was eating them when I picked them up.
Your cookies turned out a lot better, guys.
Oh, mine were store bought. We stick them on the pan and put them in.
Oh, the easy way. That's the way to go.
That's like I was making sweet potato pie and I messed it up. I make everything from scratch. And boil the potatoes on them and start mashing them. It's like right in the center.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
Okay, whenever you are ready, you can start.
Alright, can I get everyone's attention, please? Thank you.
Actually, go ahead and kind of set the stage first. Like, what class is this? And
Oh, I'm gonna get into it.
Okay.
This is my plan, don't worry.
okay.
So, Professor Ramirez from last time, as you may have noticed, and let's check this if it works. Okay, so what do we see here? What are these creatures that we see? You want to tell me?
Children, kids.
Close, we're getting close. A little bit older. Teenagers, you said, okay? Perfect, yeah. These are teenagers. A lovely specimen. And they have some weird behaviors and things going on in their lives. And like they say things like, oh, I like my chemical romance and stuff like that. You know, it's weird, it's weird. Anyways, the point is that there's things causing these changes. Do you guys know what they might be? Causing their behavior, their growth? Hormones, precisely. Okay, we got it. So, hormones cause change in humans, and they may cause change in behavior, change in growth. But humans and animals are not the only ones to have hormones. They're also in plants. And that's what we'll be going over today. This is Horticulture Science 3, Plant Growth Requirements Unit, on hormones. Okay, so what are plant hormones? Well, plant hormones are just chemicals that change different things in cells for plants, specifically here. And today's objectives are to recognize the 5 major plant hormones and their effects on plants with 100% accuracy. There are only 5, so I'm expecting you to know all of them. Right? There is a lot of information, so keep in mind just. We'll start with auxin, and actually I want to write these down because this is what we're just focusing on today. So, auxin. Auxin is the hormone in a plant which causes phototropism and apical dominance. Does anybody know what that means?
Photosynthesize and also like go towards it's not like direction.
Yeah, phototropism, the first part of the word photo means light, and then tropism means movement. So it's moving towards light. It's what causes plants to move towards the light, to bend towards the light. It's also is the word for apical dominance. Apical dominance is the main shoot that comes out of a plant. That one has the most auxin, and it remains as the tallest one because of auxins. Here's a quick explanation of how it happens. You can see here, when there's a plant, then it just stays like that, and then the sun is right in front of it, right in the middle. All the auxins just stay right there. However, once the sun moves, the auxin goes to the opposing side, and it causes cell elongation in the cells on this side, so it can bend towards the light. And aside from apical dominance, it inhibits the growth of lateral buds because since these hormones inhibit the growth, they don't let other buds grow here. Once it just keeps on growing, then the other buds can grow. But in tall part of the plant, you'll very rarely see it happen. Okay, it also prevents abscission of young leaves and fruits, and promotes abscission of old leaves and fruits as well. So abscission is just a, I guess it's called a two-letter word for different separation of parts of the plant. So again, it prevents young leaves from falling off and fruit, and it makes all leaves and all fruit fall back. Okay, that's it. So, who can tell me who that old sad looking man is?
Charles Darwin.
Correct. Oh, you're on point there. Okay. So Charles Darwin and his son actually had aside from being known as the guy who wrote The Origin of Species, him and his son had a lot of research when it comes to phototropism. They actually, on their shoots for plants, they would cover the shoots, they would cover the top part just to see what happens. Because they were expecting it to have some change in the growth of the plant. And it did. Once they covered the top of the plant would only grow upwards and it wouldn't bend towards the light. So that's how they found out that auxin remains on this, just only on the very top of the shoot. That's it. Okay, so that was auxin. And apical dominance, the phenomenon in which the main central stem of the plant is dominant over the other side stems. Now, we'll go on to gibberellin. Now, gibberellin promotes the cell division and cell elongation, causing shoots to elongate, so that plant shoots can grow taller and leaves can grow bigger. They also signal buds and seeds to begin growing in the spring, and they promote flowering. So gibberellin also promotes plant growth, but in a different way, as with auxin it would just cause the plant to grow towards the light. Gibberellin just causes overall growth in the stems and vines and all these. So what I want you guys to really get from this lecture is that all these hormones have a part in production of crop management. And just like with our last lecture, that was with plant pruning, plant hormones are extremely important when it comes to production. Okay, as we see here, stimulate stem growth, used in elevating sugar stem. See, different crops have different parts of the plant that we harvest. And so that's why it's important to know which ones of these hormones affect which parts of the plant. Okay, another popular method is enhancing for grapevines. It also slows down senescence. Senescence is the aging of a plant. Just remember it by the beginning from senile. This one. And they speed up plant maturation. Moving on. Senescence, again, aging. Cytokinin. Cytokinin stimulates cell division, promotes leaf expansion, and slows down the aging of leaves. As I'll show you in a video coming up, you can relate cytokinin to cytokinesis. It's the differentiation of cells. This hormone is responsible for differentiation of cells within a plant. So it tells them, what to do. Like when a cell is born, it's just, hey, I want to be an artist when I grow up. No, you're going to be a leaf, and that's plant shape. Anyways, that's what this does. It also, for different parts of the leaves, like stomata, it tells them what to do. This is producing the apical meristems, and again, it controls differentiation. So what the role of the plant cell will be. Okay, actually, I didn't write down the last one, so let me do that right now. So it's gibberellin. And this one is cytokinin. Okay. Sorry for handwriting that again. Now, I want you guys to learn these five. This is the most important. Keep in mind there are hundreds of types of different hormones of these in different plants, but these five are the general consensus of the biggest group of all of them. Now, what do we have here? Okay. I actually don't know if it's a mouse or if it's a guinea pig or not, but it's really cute. Okay, and what does it look like it's doing? Sleeping? Perfect, hibernation, yeah, so you got the food, you got warm, cozy little thing. So that's where I want to go to next, hibernation. Now, however, in plants, when it comes to hormones, abscisic acid is responsible for this. Abscisic acid is a type of hormone that's a stress hormone for the plant. Whenever the plant feels stress from environmental factors, it'll produce abscisic acid. And that's how it will take all its nutrients back to the roots, it'll just take care of itself. Whenever you have a drought, which is Desiccation, by the way, this is the fancy word for crop, like water. Winter's coming, increases plant tolerance to stressors. Now this is kind of interesting. This last factor right here, increases plant's tolerance to stressors. It's basically what doesn't kill you makes you stronger for the plant, because it learns how much abscisic acid it should put out in different scenarios. It promotes abscission of leaves and fruits as well as dormancy in seeds. So this is really just an inhibitor, just hibernation. It stops the plant from doing all of its usual processes just to take care of itself, to have all the storage it needs. Okay. And as we can see here, ethylene. Ethylene is the only plant hormone that's a gas, and it can be produced by any rotting fruit. So usually when you see some bananas right there that are rotting, wherever you keep them, if you put them with fruit that's not yet ripe, it'll help that fruit to ripen. Promotes senescence because it promotes aging. It's making the plant age faster, that's all it's doing. Promotes root growth and inhibits elongation. Again, it's just it's just making everything go faster for the plant. Okay, so now I want you guys to get into groups. First of all, you're going to pick a crop, just what's top of mind. If you can write it down, that'll be perfect. And I want you to write down the effects of at least two of the hormones that we discussed here, and why would it be beneficial in a production side of things for that crop. Choose any crop, a tomato, let's say a watermelon, whatever you want. Think about the plant itself. A plant you know probably would be best. And then try to use one of these hormones that we talked about and how it could increase production for you, or increase profits, okay? So please take 2 to 3 minutes to just choose, and then think, pair, share with your partner, discuss it.
What?
If you're having trouble thinking about it, just think about the entire life plant and where these could actually make some implications. So, y'all got it? Tell me when. Yes, everyone good? All right, both, or what you guys think?
We chose oranges.
Oranges, okay. And what hormones do you think?
We chose ethylene, L-ripen, and like acetic acid to like protect the plant.
Okay, at what point in the life of the plant? In your production?
Maybe if it gets cold.
We say yeah, during the winter months.
Okay. And ethylene?
Ripen fruit.
Okay, like at the end of its life. Yeah, it's a great choice. All right, Kelsey, Rebecca?
We chose the exact two hormones for the reasons, but we chose cotton.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Which it kind of thrives when it's cold, so it'd be more protecting it from other stuff versus cold.
Oh, okay. Alright. And then, the, ethylene, just to right?
just cotton.
Okay. Good answer. Okay, you guys are getting it. That's great. So let's just go over some real life applications. Well, auxin is used for increasing fruit sizes. It's used as a herbicide, and it helps in the process of propagation. Propagation we'll go over later. Plant nurseries use abscisic acid to keep plants dormant during shipping. So again, it could be not just in the field, but when you're shipping the plant over. Okay, seedless and large size grapes are produced on commercial sites by gibberellin treatments. And ethylene is used to ripen fruit for sale. So when you go to the supermarket, that's actually something they'll use in the supermarket. Like if the plants are not ripe, if the fruits are not ripe, they'll just spray a little bit of gas, and then it'll look really fresh to eat. Just then you're like, oh, this is great. And florists actually use cytokinins to help make cuts and flowers last longer. Okay. So now, I have two videos to show you, but I just want to show you one. Both are reviews. However, the first one is more scientific, more of a professor based, what I'm doing here. And it's really thorough though. They're both about the same time, so. And the second one is by a gardener who explains these things. So I want you guys to choose which review would you like to see? Well, not first.
The garden.
Gardener?
Same.
Same?
Yeah, just to say the sound's not working on that setup, so